Journal entry, 9th of the month of September, in the year of our Lord, 1163. A demonic entity has begun haunting my dreams. Alas, the tales of my father and grandfather were true. The evil that lurks in these lands may have returned and is coming for me. I have confided in Valence, as she is the brightest mind in the lands, and even she agrees that there are things beyond what is known to man. I shall be watchful, and if there is yet to be a renewed coven of those who worship the betrayer, we must put an end to it. My grasp on the authority bestowed upon me as King of Toulouse has improved, and I feel our scheme is working. Yet there are still those among my vassals who do not recognize me as the true ruler, so we have set in motion yet another plan to revive the legend of my grandfather and to elevate my name to similar heights. Something my father secretly longed for, but never had the strength to achieve after the tragic loss of his first queen. The legend of King Enric of Toulouse is as great and large as the world, for his deeds are unparalleled. Upon hearing vague rumors that plagued the land, Enric sent his heart to accomplish the difficult endeavor. Enric's legend culminates in a marvelous adventure. His great deeds of arms were such that all kings had wonder thereof, and many nobles and commoners came to his encounter, for they wished to see the legend in the flesh. However, that was not the end of the tale, for when Enric made his way home, he helped those in danger and avenged their affronts. Bandits, beasts, and evildoers could not hide from the fury of his blade. The journey back home was not easy, but King Enric entered the city among triumphant chants, and now let us all rejoice and feast, for his legend is to be celebrated. That is what I probably would call the first draft of the legend of King Enric and a mighty endeavor of the House de Villeron. We have, as you might see, we've added a few promoters. I have literally gone through every single city, county, and duchy in the lands that speak the same language, and asked them to promote. And out of all of the, it was probably about 30, 40 or so, a whopping 5 have agreed to do that. But regardless, we are, hopefully with that, we are getting some traction in the legend. And we can find ways to eventually upgrade it to a slightly better version that is a little less vague, but still the overall target is to get the legitimacy up to rightful and improve things with our vassals, especially those of those of titles, so the counts and above. Count Jacques of Béziers and Count Borel, actually, I'm getting along quite well with. Duke Ogier, might have to start looking at his ear, because his oldest son drank himself to death already, which means that his title will go to Count Thibaut of Millau, who is his grandson, and but I think I'll be getting along with him just fine. So we shall see how that goes. And meanwhile, we're working on swaying Count Pierre Bernat II of Carcassonne, who still has not produced an heir that is actually going to stay within the kingdom. So we will see how that turns out when the time comes. Meanwhile, we have something to do in the royal court. What's going on here? Okay, my half-sister is doing something. Finest raiments in the land, good king, mostly because they ain't from this land, chortles Peronella as I walk past her open chamber. Her voice oozes charm and slickness. Almost new, just as good as new, and fresh from the trendsetters in King Radan's court. These are what everyone in the Kingdom of Italy will be wearing next season. So let's see, 180 coin. I could. That is a lot of coin. That is basically my whole treasury for 14 court grandeur. No, we're fine. We're fine. Thank you for looking into that, but we're fine. I could get some legitimacy, but she would be rather angry, rather upset with me about this. So nah, we're not dealing with these things right now. We have bigger things, but we do actually have to hold court, which is going to drain my coffers quite significantly. So let's go for it. Count Jacques approaches the throne with a middle-aged man in tow. My liege king, he spouts, my acquaintance, Godofred Guienne, seeks to honor of serving in your retinue of knights. Give him the opportunity to prove his quality. The man knows his way around a sword and will not let you down when it counts. Let's see who he is. Well, he's a relatively good leader, actually, a 25 marshal. He is insane, very irrational, but he's brave, trusting, while somewhat wrathful. Yeah, as long as he doesn't want a position, so he will become. No, we're not dismissing Charles. My graveyards are full of middling swordsmen. No, yeah. He's welcome at my court. He's of House Guienne, so he is of noble blood, and he does know his way around the horse as well. That might come in handy. How much does he have? 20. I think that qualifies him for one of the acclaimed knight things. Yes, absolutely. I'm happy to have him. So with that, my uncle Duke Ogier nods an acknowledgement before stepping forward to voice his petition. My liege, I seek your aid in combating the issue of bandits harassing the modest people of Auvergne. Yeah, I can imagine. The control in Auvergne is dreadful. My lands are but one of many within the realm suffering from lack of control. I ask for any aid that you can spare. Let's see. We can 180. There goes my coffers again. With 33 control or less. I don't think we have anything with 33 control or less. Unfortunately, I can't check right now because I'm in the middle of holding court. We could send Baudouin. Who is Baudouin? I'm not entirely certain of what he is doing. He is my courtier, and he is terrible at stewardship. And he's the husband of my cupbearer, so no, I don't want to lose him. So we could send him, and he would fire one of his. That man's even worse. Okay, that man's an idiot. Yeah, literally. But I don't want to lose my cupbearer necessarily. She's useful. So, but it would be free, and he would potentially, and it would make Duke Ogier grateful. I don't think we have anything below 33, but I'm willing to give it a shot. And while Baudouin is not a particularly great steward, he's better than the guy who's currently doing the job. So yes, let's do that. And with that, I think I've lost my cupbearer. My knight Guichard comes forward, apprehensively escorted by his wife Ulrike, who seems in bad temper. She spouts up. My lord, Bogena is trying to seduce my husband, an affront to God. She has never liked me. It must be her. Guichard is clearly embarrassed to have this aired so publicly and can barely bring himself to meet my eyes. Okay, who do you have? That's my antiquarian and personal physician. Okay, she does not really have a grudge with anyone. She's a bit melancholic, I can see that. But Guichard de Nice, and we're talking about my court musician. Yeah, I can see that. I don't want to lose her. She's my court musician. I just hired her. Oh dear. Okay. So if I find this to be true, then she'll be thrown into prison. And that's what I get for hiring a seductress into the court. She will end up in prison. Okay, we will not just accuse her without due process. So we shall see if there's any truth of this. So her intrigue is at 12, my intrigue is at 4. So this might actually not really go, but at least it's an accusation. It's been voiced in the court, out in the open. So we have to investigate. We shall see, she might get angry about it, but if we're not getting anywhere with it, but still the accusation cannot just be left standing. We shall interrogate her, and we'll see what she says. She denies any involvement. That makes her angry, but so be it. As the last petitioner departs, various courtiers follow them out of the room, having business to attend elsewhere. So we've got some legitimacy, and with that, we are finished holding court, and we have managed not to spend any coin. But I believe we have lost my. Who have we lost? I would believe not my court musician. I think my cupbearer is going to move away, but oh well. Worst case, she's gone. It's not that important of a job after all. Now, how did the control change? Did we have any? We did. Actually, Auvergne was really down, so that was a good decision actually. And it hasn't cost me any coin, and we have managed to improve things for everyone. So good news all around. Princess Juliana of Toulouse, my sister, who had under suspect circumstances left been rescued from the hostage situation in Count Borel's court, and has been handed back to me by the adventurer who had smuggled her out of the castle. She has found happiness in the face of Louis de Rosselot, my brother-in-law, who is a poet and an eager reveler. So while he is somewhat older than her, at least the two of them have. At least she has found somebody at the court who makes her happy, and as she gets used to life as an actual princess again, rather than as a hostage at the court in Rouergue. My warhorse has gotten sick. It trudges towards me, dragging his legs and hanging his head. The handler assures me there is a cure to be found for what ails him, but it comes at a hefty price, 95 coin, or I might lose my warhorse. Do not wish to lose my warhorse. 95 coin, well, is the expense, and we will keep our warhorse. So there's that. Now, we're not planning to go to war. There are wars going on in our neighborhood, however, and it does probably pay to take a look around at the courts in our neighborhood, especially that there is some form of evil going on here again. So I'm going to keep a close eye and see if I can find anybody who might be practicing some unholy craft. Meanwhile, my wife has fallen pregnant once more. Cousin Borel has shown up, and to pay homage, to show his loyalty. Okay, show him in at once. I wait patiently on my throne for the arrival of Count Borel, who is soon announced and ushered before me. He kneels in deference, offering nothing but his oath to faithfully serve as a vassal of the kingdom. At last I bid the court aside, confirming my satisfaction and Borel's rights to the lands he rules in my stead. Nice. Did we get any opinion? No, just prestige. But our level of splendor has increased, and with that we are of reputable renown at this point, which is good to see. The unrest in the neighboring duchies is, I think, an attempt by Countess Alix of Comminges to Comminges probably to get out of the to be free from the control of her duchess. But what she appears to have not looked at is the total number of soldiers on the enemy side. So that's probably going to go relatively poorly. I do hope they're not starting another plague over there, because it is right next door. But there is some dissatisfaction. However, all of this happens within the Kingdom of France, and we have a truce with the Emperor, so there's nothing going on at the moment. As the renown of my dynasty grows, familiarity with the glorious de Villeron sigil spreads too. My family's device is now recognized in the regional circles of nobility, counted highly among the prominent Toulousian bloodlines. So, as it should be, and it becomes a masterwork wall ornament, which reminds me, I do have to check at the reliability of, the durability of all of these things, because some of them might actually start to fall apart a little. But it gives us renown, a prestige, a grandeur bonus, and everything, as it should be. Perfect. All right, let me have a quick look. Everything here is in decent shape, and I think I'm not sure if these actually have, durability. They do. Or maybe not, because I don't actually see. I don't see any decay here. So maybe they don't decay if they just hang there. So this is great. This is all giving us some grandeur. However, I would be kind of interested to get a few more artifacts. That would be something. I believe I have sent my antiquarian to search for rare artifacts. I could always commission one, but that would cost me 100 coin. And I don't even know if that is, but it'll be a lower quality one than something that come from inspired guests. So we'll let our antiquarian do this for a bit. We're going to use our coin more for the investment in the economy at this point, where we are still constructing windmills and watermills across the lands. Once these are finished, because these actually give bonuses to construction, then we will make things a little bit more. We'll build a few more things. The other one is obviously control, because after the civil war in Toulouse, the control in several countries, including my own, is relatively low. And I think we've still got 20 months of the Duke Ogier looking after it. He is 76 years old. Unfortunately, my Chancellor Dodon burst into my room, knocking over a lamp and almost setting a cushion on fire. "Enric, I am sure I'm being followed," he cries, pointing after him. "There were men skulking outside my chambers. My things must have been moved." Okay. What happens? I think yes, definitely somebody is looking. He does have enemies by the sound of it. We haven't seen anything, but he's never really been welcomed. And he is of noble birth, but he's always had squabbles with Carcassonne, and maybe with others as well. So we can get Peronella. She could get Spy Amateur, -2. Oh dear. How good is she? She's good at intrigue. So I think I'm going to give my sister. This is a task for my sister. So we will get Peronella to look after that. Because my own intrigue. My own intrigue value is terrible. So Peronella will get to the bottom of this, and we will see if she finds out what's happening there. As I recline with my Chancellor Dodon, we receive a missive from my spymaster Peronella instructing us both to attend my dungeon. There, in the dank bowels of my castle, I find her with the miserable Mayor Archambault in chains at her side. "This is the culprit, my lord," she calls. "There is no doubt." Okay, Archambault of Cahors, insane opportunist. And he does not like, okay. He tried to murder him when he was a child. My gosh, how did this man make so many enemies? Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Okay, we could torture him. No, we're not doing that. We will imprison him. No, we're not throwing him out. He has attempted to murder him. No, we will imprison him, and with that, okay, no more Princess of Fashion. That did not go so well here. The expression on his face, on his little face. Yeah, the little scoundrel. Okay, hang on. So who did we just imprison? We have Archambault. Okay, and with that, we will revoke his title as mayor of Cahors, and I'll have to appoint somebody else. So for now, revoke this title, and yeah, he will be stripped, and then he can stay in prison. We're above domain limit, which is not good. So we will get Cahors. We will get Cahors to have a new mayor, but who are we going to grant it to? Who do we have around here that would make a good mayor? Here we have Vision, a courtier of Borel, and I think he would make. He's good at stewardship. I think he would make a good. He doesn't have the greatest opinion of me, but he's diligent and patient, so I think he would make a great mayor. So we shall grant him the title to Vision, which makes him the mayor of Cahors. And now we just obviously have to. I'll have to, get along with him better. But all my mayors are relatively unhappy with me, so we have that sorted. And Archambault. Since he is noble, he is by law entitled to pay for a ransom, and I will not break the law, so we shall ransom him, and with that he will be free to leave the prison, but he will no longer be in a position of power that he has lost by trying to murder my chancellor. We have lost our court poet. I think she died. So we need a new one. Do we have anybody? We could get my brother-in-law, who would make a good poet. Sure. We'll appoint him as... he's actually very good at stewardship as well. I'm not sure if he can have both roles. But, we'll appoint him as court poet for now. And yeah, I'm not. We are already paying my musician. That's not actually that much, but to extol the legends, we could pay him to extol the legend, but that would be a significant expense on top of the already high expense that we're having. So instead, no, that's cheaper. Instead, yeah, we're already paying my sister, who's my chronicler, to extol the legend, and we only have so much coin to spend on things. But everything else, I think, is in good hands. This is still control growth, and my prisoner will leave the court relatively soon. All right, affairs sorted. Peering through the dusty murk of the armory, my gaze travels over multiple different weapons of war. A pair of battered leather greaves, a recently sharpened sword, a spear with a worn haft, a rusty farming tool. I pick up the farming implement. Perhaps it has been lumped in unknowingly with the weapons. I heft the tool, examining its curiously curved sickle-like blade, as I give it an experimental swing at a nearby hauberk. The blade pierces the mail, scattering a few iron rings across the floor. Interesting. We might turn this into a weapon. Farming implements. Sounds like a scythe. I believe there were war scythes, but I'm not entirely certain if that was a fantasy thing or if that was a real thing. Yeah, let's see if this can be repurposed. All right, many things happened. Somebody just died, and okay, we'll have to put that aside for now. What happened? So I think my master of the hunt has died. He was brought to me by my aunt. How is she, by the way? Let's have a quick look and see. Duchess Elodie of Bahrain. Okay, I'll put that down here somewhere. Duchess Elodie of Bahrain. She is fighting wars, well, defending herself in the Duchy of Bahrain. Her husband, who was actually younger than her, has died before her, but the old Crusader queen is still alive. However, she is infirm and has been for a long time. So, well, eventually she as well will leave us, and her and Ogier the Stout are the last living members of my father's generation. Meanwhile, Count Borel, who we just got along better with, has apparently been attempting to scheme, and we've lost some opinion of him, because he's been scheming, and he's been trying to get hooks on things. Well, then again, he's always been the intrigant of in the family there, so who can blame him? Back to things. Taking the small blade out into the midday sun, I inspected more closely. The blade tapers to a point at one end and disappears into the tang at the other, leaving a length of slightly rusty but still sharp iron in between. The kink at the blade's head gives the implement a wicked curve to it, useful for cutting through shrubs, you think, or maybe finding gaps in armor. It's clear this could be repurposed as a weapon of war, but the question remains exactly what guise said weapon would take. We could make a dagger. We could make a spear, or we could just leave it as is. So dagger, halberd, although I think we'll just leave it as is and improve the blade, to be honest, because I don't really need a short stabbing weapon. We'll leave it as is. We'll see what comes of that. So I'm very, very curious. I haven't seen this interaction before. I'm very curious to see where this is going to leave. We have managed to improve the opinion of Count Pierre Bernard II. We'll keep at it, but I believe so far, of all the counts, he is the one that we need to work with. He is terrified, because I do have, it's a very, very slight, dreadful, dreadful reputation. But it is good for we do have to work on the mayors eventually. So especially Garcende of Castle Sarrazin. She is inside, obviously, and inside my domain, and we do need to get along with each other better. So we'll work on that eventually. First, we need a new master of the hunt, and who better to employ than my brother-in-law, Mikkel, the hunter. He knows what he's doing, so he shall be my new master of the hunt. Hunts are expensive, and currently our monthly income isn't great, mostly due to the whole legend affair. So hunts are really expensive. So I'm currently not giving him anything to do, because that would A, cost money, and B, is not something that I never necessarily want to deal with anyway. So this is just the general legend spread. I'm wondering which one is more effective. The general legend spread. Let's see how well this has been working, because we are paying a lot for this, and it's not particularly the chances are not particularly high, if I'm honest. So I am wondering. We have two options here. We can get her to extol the legend, which gives us a 40% 40% improvement, but the base chance is very low to begin with. So some have a better base chance here, and that's, I think, where it works out. But it costs 4.48 gold per month. Instead, I could commend the Legend Abroad, and that would be once a year. So will she basically travel the realms and try to convince neighboring rulers to promote the legend. That might actually be the better option, because we haven't really seen any improvement from the extolling. So we'll switch that, which gets us a bit more income, because I think one of our men-at-arms... No, the negotiations are still up. I don't actually know why we have lowered income, so much lowered income. But yeah, we'll switch that. We will see what we can do with the legend. We are waiting for the construction of windmills and watermills, and then we will continue building up our economy and improving life for the Kingdom of Toulouse. The implement, which the Holdings blacksmith explained to me is known as a billhook, as I enthusiastically supervised him sharpening it, certainly looks the part as a weapon of war. The blade emerges from the tongue with a vicious edge to it, running up and through the weighty hooked head. The newly sharpened point glints in the midday sun as I work it into the seam of some defunct boiled leather armor before ripping it back towards me, severing the holding loops in a single swing. Okay. We can either get the so we get 100 martial lifestyle experience, which is great. We can get the Farmer's Billhook artifact. I don't think that is necessarily going to be better than my fine battle axe, though. But it would be interested to see. Alternatively, we would get holding taxes in farmland plus 5%. That might actually be the better option, because although we could reforge this as a court artifact, maybe. We'll get the artifact. I'm mostly out of curiosity. So now we have the Farmer's Billhook, which isn't particularly great. But I wonder if we could. Well, that actually. Oh, that's a negative prestige. Oof. Do I want a... It's a slight debuff. We're having a positive. It's 0.01. It improves everyone's opinion and gives us slightly more taxes. So yeah, let's reforge that as a court artifact, and then we should be able to put that up on a pedestal. Okay, can I see it more closely? Well, it certainly shouldn't look like this. It's not a dagger, but well, close enough. So we are displaying my discovery in the court, and instead of taking the 5-year time-limited thing. And my son is born. Valence has given birth to a prince. What are we going to call him? A Toulousian name. Prince. What were my? We've got Adalbert, and we've got Mathilda. Arthur, Dodon, Ferrand, Rogier, Hubert, Dumonche, Guitare, Guillaume. I like Guillaume. So we'll have Prince Guillaume de Villeroy. My third son. Now I can educate him myself. Can we do anything yet with Adalbert? Not yet, but he comes after me, not after his mother. He's not quite as intelligent as his older brother, who is brave and rowdy and very, very smart. And Mushin Jamalid, who got picked up during the Crusades, has become infirm, so he is no longer fit to be a bodyguard. He was married to a local woman, but their union has not been blessed which means I'm going to need a new bodyguard. Why is Charles only average? Okay, because he is also ailing. Yeah, it's the grief of his wife dying, and he has not seen fit to remarry because he simply doesn't want. He's my father-in-law, however, and he shall remain my bodyguard to the very end. But I'm sure, Ludwig, my brother-in-law, shall be made my new bodyguard. Excellent. Ludwig the Saxon, husband of Princess Navarre. It's always good to have capable people at court because time moves on and things change.